Good evening, everyone. My name is Amber, and today I wanted to talk about soaking and some of the health risks caused from smoking. Take a moment and look around this room. Now think about this statistic. Every 8 seconds, a human life is lost to tobacco use somewhere in the world. That translates to approximately 5 million deaths annually. I am sure each one of us can think of someone that is either already a statistic or eventually will be one. I chose to speak about this topic today because it is something that is close to my heart. Being a person that has lost someone very dear to me makes me want to educate people on the dangers of smoking. The purpose of my speech today is to inform each one of you why you should either quit smoking or never start. There are so many risks and dangers that come from smoking that can easily be prevented if you never smoked. Did you know that cigarette smoke has over 4,000 chemicals? In those chemicals, 43 are known cancer-causing compounds and 400 other toxins. Smoking is directly responsible for 90% of lung cancer deaths and roughly 80 to 90% of COP deaths. According to lung.org, 8.6 million people in the U.S. have at least one related illness that is caused by smoking. So, if you never picked up a cigarette, you could easily prevent this. Many changes will happen in your lungs and airways from smoking cigarettes. These changes can be short-term and happen suddenly, or long-term and happen slowly. The cells that produce mucus in your lungs and airways grow in size and in number. As a result, the amount of mucus increases. The cleaning system in your lungs will not function well. The lungs have broom-like hairs called cilia. The cilia cleans your lungs. A few seconds after you smoke a cigarette, that cilia slows down. Smoking one cigarette can slow the action of your cilia for several hours. Smoking will also reduce the number of cilia, so there are fewer cilia to clean your lungs. Your lungs and airways have more mucus, and the mucus is not cleaned out well. So the mucus stays in your airways, clogs them, and makes you cough. The extra mucus can get irritated and easily infected. Your lungs and airways will be inflamed. They will become narrow and reduce the airflow. Even 1 or 2 cigarettes causes irritation and coughing. As you age, it's normal for your lungs not to work as well. When you smoke, your lungs age faster. Your lungs can be destroyed. When lung tissue is destroyed, the number of air spaces and blood vessels in the lungs decrease. Less oxygen is carried to your body. You are less protected from infection. When you smoke, natural defenses your lungs have against infection do not work well. Cigarette smoke has chemicals that can make normal cells change into cancer cells. So again, I will say, if you've never picked up a cigarette, don't. And if you do, stop. For those of you that have already picked up a cigarette, let me tell you the surprising changes that will happen to you when you quit smoking. In just 72 hours, you'll be able to breathe better. Your cilia that I talked about earlier starts to grow back in 1 to 9 months. You start to cough less, and within 1 month, your throat mucus will decrease. You'll have fewer and even milder colds and lung infections. Pre-cancer tissues will turn back to normal within 5 years. Your risk of cancer decreases and will keep decreasing over time. Your risk of heart disease and diabetes will decrease. And last but not least, you'll have at least $100 or more in your pocket every month. The purpose of my speech today was to inform each one of you the dangers that happen when you smoke. As statistics show, smoking is deadly. So never picking up the first one can be life-saving, and so can quitting. As someone who smoked and quit 11 and a half years ago, and also as someone who lost someone to smoking, I felt compelled to share this topic with you all today. I asked you earlier in my speech to look around this room today, at everyone sitting here. After hearing all these statistics and knowing some of the harms, I hope you think twice before you decide to light up. Last but not least, I want to leave you all thinking about this. In the time it has taken me to give you this speech, roughly 30 people have died from smoking. Hopefully this will open your eyes before you decide to smoke your next cigarette or even pick up the first one. Thank you.